Well, we're in the house here of Jim and Veronica McAleer, Lissamon, County Armagh, and Veronica and Jim have been involved for a lifetime with the local GAA club down here in Lissamon. And as is usually ladies first, we'll start with Veronica here. Veronica, what's your earliest memories of GAA in the area? And
Oh, that's
how far can you go back?
that's gone back a long time, Oliver. I can tell you. I can remember back when I was about 8 or 10 year old, and the football team was trying to get going and that, and they weren't able to get a field and what have you. And Daddy, I hope he's happy. Frank Rafferty was his name. He offered them whatever field they wanted to take. He just wanted to see football going in the area, and whatever field they wanted to take, well, they could have it. So they did decide on the field, and I remember the boys going all way back. They're long since dead, a lot of them, Oliver. Changing at the backs of the ditch and coming out onto the field and playing their football. Then as time, a couple of years time, maybe they got a wee bit of a shed in the field, and now I can tell you it was humble beginnings, very humble beginnings. But there was loads of people went to it, Oliver. All the country went to it. You know, they all loved it, lived for it.
And you mentioned there your dad was a great supporter then. He would have been influential on you.
Oh, absolutely, very much so. Yeah, because not alone that, Mummy, she took over washing the jerseys and what have you, you know. So certainly my parents were a big influence where I was concerned in the GAA.
What about you, Jim? What's your earliest memories?
Well, I can remember back my uncle John was a great man for the football, and I can remember them leaving on many a Sunday, going to White Cross and Colville and that places on bicycles, and I can still picture the boots hanging over the handlebars. And
can you remember the year of?
Well, that would have been maybe 50, 53, 54.
It's in the 50s.
In the 50s, you know. And then, and again, a few years later, they would have thought none of going on bicycles to Clonus to Fine.
From here?
Yeah.
That's about, what is it? Must be 40 mile, is it?
Yeah, it probably would be.
Aye.
Yeah. They thought none, maybe not long home, maybe to half 10 at night. If it's Sunday night after and watch the Clonus.
You mentioned earlier there your mother washing the jerseys, Veronica. That was no easy task.
No, it wasn't, because
there wasn't a question then of throwing them into a washing machine and pushing a switch.
Definitely not. No, she washed them in the old tin bath. The tin bath, yeah, probably the one I was bathed in whenever I was a baby. You know, the tin bath was out at the back, and you know, she stepped them. They maybe step overnight, and then the washboard was out if necessary, and and the material in them, mind you, wasn't like the material that's in the jerseys today. It was hard work. You know, it was really hard. As a matter of fact, I remember my mother sewing the numbers actually onto the jerseys when they got a new set of jerseys. I remember her sewing. She was great with her hands, you know. She had a sewing machine, of course, but I remember her sewing the numbers on with the machine onto the backs of the jerseys. Yeah. Now that's gone back a while, Oliver. Don't ask me what year that was, because I really can't remember, you know, but it's like, I mean, you'll be looking back at.
And did she come from a football family herself?
No, she certainly did not. My mother was a Presbyterian and converted to Catholicism, and but she loved the football. She just loved it.
That's very interesting.
You know, loved it, and as I say, she never done us any harm where it was concerned. I can assure you, she encouraged us all to go, with the result that my brother went on to become. He played for a while, but he might have been so good at the playing, but then he went on to the refereeing.
quite
And
successfully, I believe.
he did. He was quite a successful referee.
Mm.
He was.
Mm-hmm.
He was a reasonably fair man. You know, maybe everybody didn't think that, but he was a reasonably fair man.
Mm.
And he would still be involved. Certainly not refereeing now, but like he still certainly would be involved in
Mm-hmm.
in the club and that sort of thing. You know.
You mentioned your Uncle John there, Jim. Was he a player?
I think he played a bit in the early years of the club.
Mm-hmm.
You know, he played in the early years. I can remember him playing way back in the old field up at the Fourth.
Mm-hmm.
He played way back there with Phelan Quinn would have been there, and Peter O'Hagan, and
Mm-hmm.
Hugh John.
there was Hugh John McManus and Barney Meehan, Peter Meehan.
Then we're talking there about childhood stuff. Then eventually you got involved yourselves.
Oh, did we did.
What stage did that happen at?
Well, we were married in 1964, and I suppose even before that, you know, we were always involved. You know.
Was there a club in the parish in '64 when you
No, I
got
don't
married?
think so, Oliver. No, I don't. No, I don't think so.
Mm-hmm.
No, it was sometime after that,
Yeah.
and
I'm told it was 1972 the club reformed.
there
again.
you are. Well, you're probably right. You know, I need to go down my archives for that one.
Aye.
But it was 72. It was reformed. Well, I
Uh-huh.
certainly would have been there. Both of us probably would have been there at the reforming, but I would have been maybe more involved than Jim at that stage. You know, but when it came to fundraising and that sort of thing, both of us were certainly very, very involved in it.
Yes, from earlier conversation we were having there, I believe both of you would have been responsible almost, I was going to say single-handedly, but double-handedly for the entire finances of the club. You're well known for your fundraising talents.
Well, I'll not say talents, Oliver, but certainly we're well, even to this day, we're very much into fundraising for different things. But in those days, it was all the club. And fundraising was played a very big part in it.
Mm-hmm.
You know, for the extension to the old hall, which we had fundraised for it. And in fact, back then there was 3 people actually was mainly responsible for putting on the extension to that fundraising wise, and that was Jacinta Mackay, Joseph Rafferty, God be good to him, and myself. You know, now I'm not saying others didn't help. A lot of people did help. But we would have been the main fundraisers for that particular project. But then it went on, and years to come, then we got the new field, and sure, hey presto, it was great.
Having a club in an area, would you say it was a great advantage? What I mean there is that I'm told that the club, it wasn't just strictly GAA, there was lots of other
absolutely not.
activities went on.
Oh,
like,
absolutely. For the youth.
At Christmas time.
Oh, yeah.
And you had your youth club, and
You had your Christmas party.
there was dramas and plays.
Yeah.
And that
Oh,
type
yeah.
of thing.
Big
You know,
time
that
drama.
The club didn't close up after the playing season, but it became very active.
Absolutely,
in the winter time.
yeah.
Can you tell us about that?
Well, I was involved personally with in the dramatics, you know, and I loved it. It was great, Oliver. We did a few plays now, and I was always whether fortunate or unfortunate to be chosen as the leading lady in all of the plays that we done. And my sparring partner was always there again. He's dead and gone, God be merciful to him, Paddy Murtagh. And him and me were a great old team together. And but it was great. It was very enjoyable. We did the Swan song, and I can't remember though. I know the Swan song. I'll always remember it was the very first one we done, and it was great. It was great.
This was part of the winter program.
This was part of the winter program.
McCook's Corner.
McCook's Corner. You know, there's several that we did. You know, it was great.
Were you in the dramatics?
No, but I can remember, you know, I would have been in the wings.
Yeah. No
He'd have been doing the prompting maybe.
Alright, you hear a lot of talk about women involvement these days, and it's not a new thing till there's someone
Absolutely
regarding
not.
your own role there, is that right?
I played my own part in that way back in the early years. I think it was about 1981, I think it was, Oliver, that at the annual meeting, I was asked to put my name forward for the position of chairperson. And I thought, oh no, that's a man's role. But anyway, this particular man said to me, he said, Veronica, it's not going to stop you going. So I did let my name go forward, and here presto, I was elected. And I did hold the position of chairperson. In fact, if I'm maybe open for correction, but I think it was the first lady chairperson in County Armagh.
Yeah, I'd say you were, yeah.
And I held that for a couple of years, you know, so hard work but rewarding. It was a great honour, Oliver. You know, it was a great honour to be chairperson of the club for a start off.
How do you think you were received, like being a woman with a high official position in that time wouldn't have been that common?
It wasn't.
Did you get the respect?
Mostly, Oliver, mostly, but there was some quarters like still would have, we've got the man in there sort of thing, you know. But overall, I mean, I there was nobody really pointed a finger at me, you know.
Just recently we had the controversy in England about the female linesman or
that's right.
person.
That's linesperson, that's right.
There's a few remarks. Did you suffer anything like that?
No. Nobody ever said anything derogatory to me. No.
So
no, I know. No, I enjoyed it, Oliver. I enjoyed
both
it.
of you had long memories of the club, and you're in a good position to gauge the progress of it from those days right down through to the present day. You had big events like the opening of the field, the new field. That was a big thing in 1992.
Big day.
You both were heavily involved in that. Big day.
Yeah. It was a big day. It was a big day for Lissamon. It was a big day for the whole community that day, you know. At that stage now, our own son, Barry, he would have been playing football at that time, and all of the children, we were blessed with 4 children, and all of them had, even to this day, have steep interest in the GAA, you know, and in all sports, and really. You know?
You mentioned your family there. How did it impact on the family? Like, was there much pressure on, you know, Sundays, that type of
yeah.
thing?
Well, I mean, Sunday, well, the football was like a religion. You went to mass and then you went to football, you know, but they were both combined. I remember one time, just you mentioned that, I remember one time we went back, I think it was about 1978. I noticed in 1977, Armagh was playing Dublin and in Croke Park, and we were all there, and poor Larry Cairns, I don't know if you remember him playing for, I'm sure you do. He lost his false tooth, and when the football match was over, weren't we all out on the field, going round Croke Park looking for a wee plate with a false tooth on it. But after that, then there was great hype where Armagh was concerned, and remember them playing down in Cork. We all went, and contingent went from Lissamon, got the train up at Dundalk, and went to Cork. And
what age was your family at that time?
Very young, Oliver.
So you organised them all to Perry.
Took them to Cork. Yeah.
On the train.
On the train. Yeah. And
that would have been an overnight stop, wouldn't it?
No, it wasn't an overnight stay. No way. No. You went in the morning. We got the train in Dundalk about 7 o'clock. And you went to Cork, and a rush to mass. Mass had to be said. You had to go to mass, because that was the GAA was religion, and the religion was GAA, you know. So you had to go to mass regardless of where the match was or what time it was. So there was a Father McHugh who was travelling to the match, and he said the mass. He was travelling to the match with us, and he said the mass in Cork, and it was out of the train into mass, out of mass, and into the field, and that was it. Out of the field and into the train and home, you know. No, I'm not saying about the food end of it. I think it was a picnic, if I remember rightly, you know.
Jim, your involvement. You had this great talent for fundraising, and we mentioned there the opening day in the community. opening of the field. You played a role that time, and there was a history book brought out, and